Are you good in the dark? Like,
am I good in the dark?
In the sense that
that could mean so much.
Yeah, exactly.
That could be
it came across
so much.
Not an easy genre, not for makers, not for actors.
But you find out that her motivation to do what she does comes from a place of trauma, comes from a place of loss, from a place of angst, and there's a very personal reason why she's involved in finding out what happens.
It's what this show is trying to say, and not just creep you out, but also it has the power to make you think about your inner demons and your inner Andhera.
Guys, 14th of August, if you fancy horror, this might be the series for you. Andhera comes on to Amazon Prime Video, and I'm going to say I've seen Karanvir Malhotra after years.
Yeah.
The last time I met you was for selection day. We were in another office.
Yeah.
Still looking sharp, bro. How are you?
The girls are keeping me on my toes.
You already know the right things to say.
You groomed me well.
Mutual admiration club. Is there any space for us? Girls, let's begin.
And the lovely Surveen Chawla, who's been referred to in interviews with other people, like Tanya Bami from Netflix, as well as with Rohan Sippy. I know this is for another platform. That's okay. We're not talking about the grandioseness of that platform. They're just saying, I've really been appreciating your work, because
Thank you.
every time I see you on screen, one can't take one's eye off you. But these parts, you're really eating into them, and you're knocking it out of the park.
That's very kind. Thank you.
So great. Just keep doing what you're doing. Amazing.
We'll try my best.
Yes. and Priya Bapat noticed very sheepishly before this interview, saying, actually, whenever I do an interview with Radio 1, it's only with you. And I said, that is on purpose. I don't allow any other presenter to come.
I'm glad, I'm happy about it.
Yeah. And you know how much I loved COD. I've seen every frame. What a show, what a series it is. And more power to you. And the lovely, wonderful Prajakta.
Hello.
You were supposed to give me your book. You never gave it to me.
I didn't? Blasphemy. I will make sure it reaches you.
Because I'm so keen to read something you've written, which is in the fiction space.
Yeah.
So please tell everybody about it. What is the book called? And is this your second one?
No, first one only.
Yeah.
It's called Too Good to Be True, and it's a romance fiction novel. It's my first time. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I would have the gumption to write or the guts to even publish. So that has been quite a journey, and my audience has actually been very gracious about it with the way that the book got received. But we must make sure that this mistake is fixed. I will have a copy with you
I
soon.
met her at a podcast award show, and she told me about this, and I said, I'd love to read it. I am a voracious reader.
Yeah, I know you are.
And I love reading myself to sleep every night. So I'm waiting for that to happen. And otherwise, if you don't send it in a week's time, I'll buy it off.
No, you will have it before that.
And I'd love to talk to you separately about that, about the
100%,
book.
yes,
Wonderful.
please.
So, Karanvir, let's start with a character which I have only the trailer to go by, who sees things, which is a very famous line from The Sixth Sense. I see things. And that must have really spoken to you at a screenplay level, man. A character who says that.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's the first instinct that I had. I'm a big fan of that film as well. And I think just the writing of this show is so unique and so fresh. And it also comes from a very pure spot from the writers and the directors. So what they're trying to say through the show is it resonated with me personally at a very deeper level. And I think my line in this, as you must have seen in the trailer that says Andhera zinda ho gaya hai, is somewhere resonates what this show is trying to say, and not just creep you out, but also it has the power to make you think about your inner demons and your inner Andhera, which it's also self-reflectory in that sense. So yeah, the show spoke with me on different levels and different tangents, and I hope the audience can feel it through the show and my performance and all the performances of these super duper actors.
Surveen, doing horror for an actor also depends on how the filmmaker or the director approaches it. For example, they tell me that Stanley Kubrick actually used to tie a speaker onto the camera trolley to give his actors the eerie sound when he used to shoot a horror scene. Ram Gopal Verma has been known to in the past have, crazy jump scares as far as audio is concerned thrown at people. The other end of the spectrum, there's a guy like Vikram Bhatt who's told me in this very room saying, when I shoot horror, I don't give them any audio cues. I just tell them ye hoga verbally and it's up to them to react. I'm very keen to know how Raghav approached the filming of these horror scenes. Were you given audio clues or were you just given narration and you went ahead?
No, I think what we were given, at least as far as I'm concerned, was a lot of imagination and left to that device. I find that very interesting. Of course, you have the liberty to kind of, take another one and then still take another one. But having said that, you also have time constraints. While horror as a genre is a very, you need to be technically very, very sound. There is later towards the edit part, there's going to be sound coming in, there's going to be a lot of VFX coming in. So that imagination that was given to, I'm sure, each one of us by Raghav, I think mattered the most.
Yeah.
Because we were basing our reactions on, well, there is no ghost, but then you gotta, you gotta feel the scares and you gotta have the fear and the dread in your eyes while not having one, right? So I give Raghav and Gaurav, who were there, I think, hand-holding us through and through the journey. And you go up to them and you would ask them questions, and that would, I think, those were the pieces, like Lego, those were the pieces that would just layer on top of each other. So I think I have to give them the credit entirely, because it's like I said, it's not an easy genre, not for makers, not for actors, but I'm just hoping we've been able to do justice.
So Prajakta, horror comedy as a genre seems to be working very well.
Yeah.
I think the makers have taken great pains in explaining that this is not a horror comedy.
It's not.
And in that aspect, I find you're doing a piece to camera. So are you playing content creator? Are you playing somebody who unearths these things? I don't know, tell me.
Yeah, so my character's name is Rumi and she is a YouTube creator. She live streams.
You had me at Rumi, what a name.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Super.
Yeah.
Rumi.
So she actually is a paranormal investigator and that's the kind of content that she makes. So at the face of it, it looks like, okay, she's a creator who's interested in these things. But when you delve a little more into where she comes from, you realize that she's very personally kind of invested in finding out what exactly is happening, and then she finds the first kind of link with Karan's character, that's Jay, and then it meets Kalpana. All these kind of links kind of start establishing themselves, and we start finding how all these characters are related to each other. But you find out that her motivation to do what she does comes from a place of trauma, comes from a place of loss, from a place of angst, and there's a very personal reason why she's involved in finding out what happens, which is what makes her so fearless. So that's Rumi.
It's surprising, but in the UK there's this whole rivage, it's almost as though it's a tradition that people watch all these paranormal shows.
Yeah.
Especially haunted castles, because there's so many castles in all over the UK and Wales and Scotland, the extended kingdom. And when I was there recently, I was sitting down with my friends and watching this, and the anchor is somebody like this. Seemed to be somebody totally invested in it.
Yeah.
And then my friend was explaining to me, saying that this anchor's done a series with BBC and some other people.
Are you talking about Crime Junkies?
I don't know what her name is, but she's very, very interesting.
Got it.
So there is a particular type of anchor you look for to do paranormal shows, because apparently they also understand the energies of the place.
Yeah.
So this kind of feeds into that. That's quite interesting. So she's not doing it just because it's a story.
Yeah.
She's invested in it and she believes in these things.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she's been affected by it at a much deeper level growing up. So
Is there anybody rational in the show, Priya? Is your character?
Kalpana tries to be because she's a cop.
She's a cop. I imagine that maybe the cop is the only element
Exactly.
who says, what is this bhoot pret business?
She does that.
I mean,
Till a point.
Fair enough. All characters are allowed to change.
Yes. Like how Karanvir said that when, your inner demons start surfacing and then they take over your emotional space. I think that's the deeper Andhera we are talking about. That's the darker space we are talking about. And whether it's outside on the roads or whether it's inside you, it exists. And we have to admit that there is always a darker, deeper side within all of us. And then there are times maybe when you're emotionally weak, or maybe you're vulnerable, or you feel a lot of regret. All this comes to a surface.
So you're saying, she's the cop. She starts off rational.
Her journey starts from an investigation because there's a missing girl's case that comes to her.
Which the trailer says.
Trailer says. She's going out only to find out the truth about the missing girl. Yeah. And then it leads into, another story, another truth. And she herself doesn't realize and she doesn't know when she gets caught up into the world of Andhera and how.
Are you good in the dark? Like,
am I good in the dark?
In the sense that
that could mean so much.
Yeah, exactly.
That could be
it came across
so
in a
much.
very wrong way,
Dark way.
in a dark way. Considering it's not even decoupling. I'm just saying. What I mean is, for example, when you get into your house, do you need lights to be on?
I'm good.
Or you can just sit in darkness for hours.
Not hours, because darkness or the lack of noise both can be very suffocating and very discomforting. Not for long, but I'm not somebody who fears the dark. We know that by now.
Clearly.
Yeah, but I want to add to what Priya actually, coming back to Andhera, the dark that you're talking about. So what is interesting and sets this show apart is not just the fact that it is horror and it's going to give you the jump and the scare. That said, it's actually got a very compelling story. I'd like to base the whole show on an extremely compelling story that's going to make you think. It's a mix of crime and investigation while all the paranormal stuff is happening. There's a genuine story to it. And at the same time, you could look at it as science meeting supernatural. To me, while I was shooting, it was also very interesting because I found a little bit of a spiritual angle to it as well. So, which I think it's got something that's going to appeal to fans and people who love the genre. And
so, Prajakta, since you're the most recently married person,
Yes, I am.
I'm going to ask you this question. I could only fall off to sleep in total pitch darkness. And one of the things that I had to get used to when I first got married is my wife needs one solitary light somewhere in the corner, even if it's low wattage. And then you get used to it, like you get used to air conditioning because you have no choice. I wonder if you're completely comfortable with the darkness.
I am actually. I quite like very dim lighting even before we go to bed or anything like around the house. But I find a lot of peace in complete darkness also. If I'm having days where I'm overwhelmed, I'll kind of switch everything off, shut the curtains, wear the eye mask and sit in silence, just breathe. It helps me. I also like working later at night where it's quieter, there's lesser interruptions. But jab tak, about the sleeping arrangement thing, actually, Vishang is very sweet because he knows that I am very clumsy, so I stumble every time. So even if he sleeps before I reach, there will be all lights on.
so sweet.
Yeah, everything will be on. He'll sleep very nicely in it. He doesn't mind it.
What a lovely boy.
100%.
And it's not that he's going to change because you've been together for a while now.
If you had to change,
you had to change.
Yeah. that train has left the station now. He doesn't get it.
Same question for the two of you. How are you with darkness?
I need a light on. I'm also a dim light kind of guy. I don't like a lot of brightness, but I can't sleep without a small lamp. And if I'm going to a new room or a new place to stay in, I'll switch on all the lights and sleep.
I find that fascinating.
Yeah.
I find this fascinating in human beings.
It's
I think I agree with Prajakta because I'm a clumsy person. I can stumble upon anything. In the night, especially because I have to get up a lot of times.
Yeah, get to pee, go to drink water. I keep stubbing my toe.
Yeah. So at least if it's not a familiar space, then I need at least one tiny bit of light coming in from maybe from a window, or maybe I'll switch on the bathroom light and keep that, especially that one.
Yeah.
Bathroom light will be on. But at my home, I'm very comfortable with the darkness because I think I'm very familiar with the space. It's my home. I'm very comfortable, safe. So I don't think that thought occurs in my head when I'm at home.
I love that you set the precedent and you said this show is not only about jump starts. It's got so many layers to it. And to me that's the most important thing in the horror genre. If you're only going to be spooking me with jump scares and things like that, it's not going to work for me. I notice that there is a portion of the trailer where suddenly I stood up where it goes into a meditation kind of area, and it's like with those spa gayi thi ya kahin gayi thi and this and that, and I'm like, wow, this show seems to be going somewhere. Maybe there are twists and there are turns and this and that, and somebody wearing peculiar headsets. So don't answer if it is a spoiler.
Yeah, sure.
Is that what you're referring to when you're saying that there's some spirituality? There's
No.
a bit of meditation?
No.
Or is
So
it a
that is
cult?
on the surface, right? But I'm talking about something that happened within me while I was filming. The perspective that I got while I was... I'm playing an entrepreneur who's the founder of this wellness center called Atma. It just made me dig deeper and kind of gave me perspective on what they're basically doing there, and which is why that I saw the show from a little bit of a spiritual light as well. It talks about the Andhera within, while we are also talking about the Andhera without, which is what Karan referred to as, Andhera zinda ho gaya hai. That's the without Andhera, and then there is one within.
So, entrepreneur, paranormal creator, cop,
medical student. Yeah, there is a reference to that. That you're a medical student. Yeah.
And obviously things happen with this medical student. Does he have sessions on the couch with a psychiatrist?
Yeah.
Who plays that psychiatrist?
I think Gaurav Sharma is the one who's Gaurav Sharma is playing the psychiatrist.
Spoilers,
But yeah, the show does touch upon science meeting supernatural, and my stance in the show, in the beginning of it at least, is where I truly believe in science because I'm a medical student, and then there's an investigative angle to it where I start questioning my beliefs and I start questioning what my thinking is as Jay and how I view the world, and that's how the journey unfolds. And I don't know if he'll still believe in the science by the end of the show or not. That's for you to figure out when you watch the show.
I also want to add one thing.
Yeah, please.
Allowed. I feel that every character, especially four of us, we all have a journey. And I think that's very important in the story. It's not about the ghost or the fears. It's about how the transition of those characters from point A to point B happens. Now, what is that point A and what does that point B is?
Fair enough. The next thing I want to move to is actually spirits in the material world. I mean, there are belief systems. The traditional Indian belief system is not ashes to ashes, body to dust to dust. It is that the soul leaves the body and then goes and attaches itself to another soul. And of course, the ancient seers believe that if you keep meditating and your karma becomes so good, then your soul's journey just stops and you don't have to keep reliving again and again.
Cycle breaks.
Which is not entirely the same philosophy that most of the West has, which is death is the end of it. So I want to know what belief systems are. So Priya, what do you believe? You believe that there are spirits in the material world?
I definitely believe in the energy. And I do very positively for both positive and negative energies. I said this in the previous interview that what you're talking about. When I lost my mother and when I lost my uncle and aunt in the same year, just in a 6-month span, I could feel that the room still had the energy, their presence. And I don't think all the time it's emotional and psychological. Sometimes, maybe because I was very close to them and I felt that, but I think everybody in my family felt that. Or maybe I'll just share this very small thing. I don't know. Again, this could be a very superstition.
Please.
Suddenly, from the day of my mom-dad's anniversary, which was on 17th of July, there's this one crow. And I've just shifted to my new apartment in the month of February.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
There's this one crow who comes and sits at the window. Okay? Doesn't do cow, doesn't do anything, just sits. He was looking at he or she, whoever that crow
Let's say
is.
she.
Yeah, let's say she. So look, taking like peek into my house, looking here and there, just taking a look at how the house is. And we're waiting. My dad wasn't at home. He was with my sisters in my sister's house. So, and that was their anniversary. I waited. I was looking at that crow, and that crow just kept looking at me, as if he was trying to, or she was trying to communicate. But the crow was very calm and composed. There was nothing. And my mom used to love the malai that comes on the milk. I don't know what I felt. I took the malai from the milk and I kept it in the katori and I gave it to the crow. And I shut the window. Nicely the crow came, ate the malai and went. Now you won't believe, at 8:15 every morning the crow comes. It's the same crow. And he only interacts and talks and eats if I feed. I called my sister and I told her that this has happened, and I don't know, I genuinely feel that it's mom because dad isn't around and she's probably looking for him. And she said, Priya, and I have goosebumps. She said, Priya, you won't believe there is a crow right outside in my kitchen window.
Oh my God.
Because dad is there.
Wow.
In her house.
Wow.
This could be a superstition, this could be anything, but I believe in this. I believe in this magic, I believe in these coincidences, or whatever we call it. Sometimes
If we
this
don't
makes you
believe,
feel
then-
good.
Yeah,
then
if you
it's
don't
okay.
believe, then what is there to human life? Spirits in the material world.
Yeah.
Say.
Very, very similar to actually what Priya said, that I definitely believe in energies, and like I also feel like I don't know enough to refute
Sure.
things. I don't think any of us do. At this point, I think Surveen earlier today put it so well, and I believe in that I have my beliefs with energies and power and things that work for me, things that don't, but at the same time I also respect what everybody else believes, and I'm okay with being in that place, because I pray and I will say my daily affirmations and I will say my gratitude, and I'm saying it to someone. So I like to believe that there is a power, there is someone. Now that could be, you could call it God, or you could call it people that we've lost. It could be well-wishers, ancestors, whoever it is. But I believe in that because I've had answers that I've gotten, and it is a very integral part of my everyday. These conversations that I have with this energy. So yeah.
On a very personal level, like the one major loss that I have faced is losing my Nanu. And I couldn't spend the last moments with him. I used to call him Daddy Nanu because
I would call my daddy Nana.
Sweet. And yeah, so I just felt that when he was around, as kids are rebellious, I never used to listen to him. I just not listen to him in the sense that I had my own ways and stuff, but just that spiritual attachment just became so much deeper when I couldn't, when he wasn't there physically. So much so that I was like, I feel more attached to him now when he's not there spiritually than it perhaps was when there was a physical presence around. So I genuinely believe that there is something more than just what you can see. It's about what you feel. And he was a Sikh, so he was very religious and stuff, and he used to tell me to wear a kara. And I said it doesn't look cool. Like you want to wear like
Looks really cool.
bands and stuff.
Really
Really cool.
And-
There are very few
yes.
left to do wear. the
And
colour.
after his death, I like this is for him. Like I've worn it for him because it reminds me of him every day and his values.
Can I just add something?
Yeah.
This is why now I grew up a very filmy kid. I would go to films and magazines and TV for every answer. So for me, when I have lost people in my life, like I lost Nanu myself as well. This is for him. This is my Nani's ring, which name is Virendra Kumar Jain. That's why there's a V ring that she wore, Mama wore, and now I wear it. Prashank thinks it's for him, but it's
Sorry.
Let him answer.
but so this is why stories that kind of help you, even if in the fictional world, to break this feeling down are important. Because the number of times I'm going through also like this conversation over me, like I'm going through a time when I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'll have conversations with him.
Yeah.
Or if something happens, I'll look up and I'll say thanks. Because I've lost him, I've lost my great grandparents, I've lost a very close friend of mine when I was in school, and I feel like they are there around me. I've lost someone very close to Prashank and me. So I know that now bhi isko aap jo bhi bol lo, but for me, these having an idea of these presences is also necessary, because I look to them for comfort. Because the movies taught me that कि कोई अपनी माँ को मिस कर रहा है तो बैठ के खिड़की में चाय पीते पीते ऊपर देख के माँ से बातें कर रहा है, या जब ऋतिक रोशन ने बोला था कि हमारे जब पास के लोग चले जाते हैं तो वो तारे में, तो मैं देख के तारों को बात करती
I
हूँ,
know
मुझे
about
उससे
this
मिलती
Hrithik Roshan thing.
So I'm saying this is why it comforts you. It comforts me. So I feel like for people like me, the stories like Andhera and stories like this are so important for us to also help us. If you're filmy like I feel like it'll help.
And also after this loss, I just feel more connected to his values and what he used to teach as compared to what it was when he was around, which is a very weird phenomenon if you think about it, right?
Also sorry, one thing.
Yeah, sure.
We are also we are continuously trying to fix something, no? If you have a regret, you want to fix it in the next with a relationship with the next person. If you have any deeper emotion, you want to just go back and correct it. Like for your character also.
Yeah.
There is some kind of a loss in the feeling that you just want to go out and correct. I think that also brings a lot of beliefs about these energies.
I just thought of something, Surveen. For example, the ancient pharaohs of Egypt, and if you go to Giza, they're still there. And in the Museum of Alexandria and things like that, they used to have these coffins and they used to embalm the pharaohs because they thought they would need them in their journey to the next world. And
They
you
would
still go
also
to
pack their daily essentials.
essentials,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
And you go to a lot of Southeast Asia has that. You go to Vietnam, for example, they still have the body of Ho Chi Minh, who is the founder of their nation, because they believe in the afterlife. So one is spirits in the material world, the other is the afterlife. Do you believe in the afterlife? I wonder.
I think we spoke about this briefly
Earlier
this
today,
morning, no? You can't be here to tell the stories of afterlife, and those who have visited the other side and yet to be able to come back to this life have just one thing in common, which is that I had an out-of-body experience, and then
Yeah, we say that. We say we had an
right? Out-of-body experience, and mostly you hear that from people who have unfortunately been in a coma for very long, or have touched death and sort of been able to revive themselves back. And sometimes, I've heard of stories and I've seen some interviews of people on CNN and where women, there are a couple of women who actually had that experience, and they were suffering with an ailment, and when they came back, so their visit to a partial sort of visit to the afterlife healed them when they came back.
Wow.
Yeah, so it makes you think, right? Everything is not in the realm of human understanding. There are things that I truly believe are beyond the realm of human understanding, beyond the realm of science, right? Which is why there is so much that is not yet explained, right? So
Beautiful. Guys, my time is up. But I have to tell you, I just had such I had such a wonderful time. And it's so wonderful that none of us
what is
spoke
this
about
time?
what spooks us out. The cockroach or the lizard.
Hey, Abhina, we have told those stories so many times, they've become 3-word answers. Like we've been noticing that as
What
the
are you
interviews
scared of?
go.
So it's also like, I know what your answer is.
It's very like short. Okay, next.
Like she was going to say something. I'm like, in my head. What's the scariest film from
You guys are mentally fist bumping each other. I realized with this interview trail, mentally fist bumping each other.
This one is
all the answers,
Yeah.
all the answers right now were very, very new.
Yeah, that's.
I'm so happy
Him,
because
no?
I'm a huge, it sounds wrong again, huge lover of Surveen Chawla, Prajakta Koli and Priya Bapat. And of course, this wonderful kid who should have had 3 more seasons of Selection Day. But wonderful to see you.
Thank you,
Guys, Andhera is on Amazon Prime Video on the 14th of August. Nice way to celebrate Independence Day would be to watch it.
Totally.
You
You're
know,
not going
to
anywhere, no?
And I am, but for a day, it's okay.
Come back.
Come back, yes. Binge watch it. Like they said, thank you guys.
Thank you.
94.3 Radio 1.